Good day everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Cafe and Interstellar Lounge with your host here, the Cosmic Messenger. And if you're new to my channel, this is a place where we can get in there, we can completely dissect everything that has to go on in the realms of unlocking the multiverse, multidimensional healing, transdimensional happenings, metaphysical ascension awakenings, all realms of the quantum acceleration field, things that are mystical and fantastical. This is an avenue to travel through all of them, learn about them, talk about them, and get some divine wisdoms coming through, right? The wild stuff that happens in your life, this is a safe and beautiful portal to access more of these fifth dimensional frequencies, as well as taking it up to the 12th dimension and beyond, right? We want your incarnation to have the most amazing experience it can possibly have. And this is another tool to spread the messages far and wide for the collective ascension, and both stuff happening for your own multiverse reality within you too, as well as the fantastical mechanics of self-awareness and beyond. So welcome everybody, this is great. We're slowly getting closer to the Lionsgate portal on 8/8. That's August 8th, and that is an amazing transformative time. It's a yearly portal, right? This coming Monday we go through the day without time, and then we move into this climax. Earth, Sun, Sirius, they go into alignment and they create some extra interstellar transmissions. So that's super cool. So you might start to feel some, energies really, really ruffling inside of you. Moving and growing and shifting, and both in the ascension symptoms and then also in the collective field of feeling elevated. It really depends on what level, what density you are in with each dimension, right? 12 dimensions, each with 12 densities. So before I get into the subject of today, I wanted to say, so we just finished doing, my partner and I, Hillary Raven Porter at Sacred Starseed Healing. We did a collab. We co-created with the universe, and we put out an event which was called Galactivation Central, a mini market to amplify your life, right? Amazing stuff. We had a really good time putting it together. It was a fantastic experience. But there was something really cool that happened while we were there. So I have this wonderful tool. There's a video for it if you check out my other vids, called the 5G BioShield, which right now you can't buy it anymore. They don't produce it anymore. It got kind of, a lot of things went on behind the scenes to make sure that this product didn't spread as far and wide as it needed to. The 5G BioShield is incredible. You plug it into the wall, right, and you get scan the whole house, your whole healing space, any space that you have a plug-in. When it's not plugged in, so it's a USB key, right? If you wear it on you, which I do all the time, you get an 8-foot radius, taking all of the EMFs and all of the distorted frequencies and transmuting them into beautiful energies. Then if you take it and plug into the wall, what transpires? You have elevated range, so it goes to 40 meters. So you can do an entire household. Super cool stuff. Now this stuff is amazing, and I know it works. I could feel it when I put it in my hands. I even fell down to the floor. I was like, oh, this feels so good, especially when 5G really started to kick in. So we took it to the market and we plugged it into the wall. People noticed right away the frequency change. But what we had was, we had a guest there that had a booth, and they're called the Harmonic Egg. Amazing 11-foot by 11-foot dodecahedron egg that you can go inside. You get sound bathed and some light frequencies as well. Amazing stuff. So they were there, and they also had an aura scanning device, which also goes through and scans your body, your organs, different things. You put all your fingers in, boom, they're scanned, and you get the report. Cool, right? Well, they were trying to do the reports, and they realized that everybody was coming out crystalline and perfect frequencies. They had never seen anything like that before. Insight from my partner, oh, we have the BioShield plugged in. So we unplugged it, took it out, and everything went back to normal. To general field of each person has their own individual adventure within it, which was so cool. Because I don't need that tangible stuff, but for the rest of the populace, and you know what? I kind of actually admire it too. It's the merging of the science and the metaphysical, the elevated super consciousness of both of those levels. And when we got to scan it and find out the impact that it has on the room, it just made it even more wild. Super cool stuff. So that's amazing. If anybody out there also too ever needs to get in contact with me, I just want to say really quickly, for sessions, check out my Metaphysical music, all that stuff. I make energy encoded artwork. I do Reiki sessions. They're multidimensional. Theta wave Reiki. I have aura scans, and as well as I'm a Tamiana practitioner as well too. Packages, and I do Reiki trainings. The list just goes on and on and on. So to check out all my creations that I do, you can go to linktree.com/the Cosmic Messenger. The link will be put in at the end of the video as well too. And I do distance and local. And the BioShield is in the healing space as well too. So it's an amazing experience. And rose quartz water, the list goes on and on. We are here to help people go through their ascension processes, as well as heal the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual realms on the subtle body and right into the 12-strand DNA. You got an issue? I got you covered, right? Okay, so this is awesome stuff. Thank you for the rants. The 5G BioShield was amazing. Look forward to the Lion's Gate. Now we're going to get into the subject of the day. Can you tell I got this fire energy inside of me just cascading from all of the summer vibes that are going on? It's just, I find this season to be so electric. It's amazing. So today I wanted to talk about co-creating with the universe, the multiverse. Co-creating with spirit and everything on the other side of the veil. Co-creating your reality, but also talking about the realms of imagination and your creative energy. To be very tangible for people, you're making a painting. That's an act of getting creative, okay? So we're going to talk about that for today and what it really means to embody bringing in spirit and then working with it through you as an elevated source. And also expanding your field of what you think creativity is and how that works. So every single thing that we experience on this planet, every single thing is an act of creation. There is nothing that does not fall into that category. From the clothing that we make, somebody had to create it, right? So we take the first creative things we really think of as like, well, I'm painting, I'm drawing, I'm making a movie, I'm designing some music, right? Maybe making some clothing and stuff like that. That's kind of the stuff that we really feel that's more in the creative sense. The stuff that people generally use as entertainment. Or to expand themselves into those realms. So if you think about it, every other thing, though, that you come into contact with, which we call the mundane realm, right? You got paintings here behind me, but then also who created the paint in the first place, which is an act of creation. The houses that we live in, the homes, how they're designed, the clothing we wear, the glasses on my face, designing my hair for the day, getting dressed and putting my clothing together, right? All that stuff. Even the camera that I'm using. Somebody sat down and got creative and made the blueprints, the cosmic blueprints, for bringing that into manifestation via our palm and manifestation chakras, aligning the throat chakra, the thymus chakra, and the sacral, and then bringing that out into the field. And sometimes it comes out through our vocals, right, with music. Or we play them with our hands, right? Or we get visions with our third eye. We create astral travel. It's an act of creating. Now, for a lot of people, a lot of beings on Earth, the humanoids, right, that we're experiencing right now in this vessel, in this biosuit, will go, okay, I'm just going to use painting because it's the easiest one for me to talk about. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to paint and I'm going to create something. And that's it. I created it. I did it. That's the end of the sequence. Well, there's newsflash, galactic newsflash. There's so much more that's happening. So we all have guides, spirit guides and master guides with us. We have transdimensionals as well too, that are just hanging out in the field, but we don't necessarily see them all because we're focused on the 3D template through our vision. But there's so much more expansiveness to see in the 12 dimensions of incarnational reality in this time matrix. So you do it, but then you also have another group of beings, which is other interdimensionals that are vying for your success in this moment. Plus you have Gaia, Mother Earth, the elemental kingdom, and the Devic realms. And all these things are oscillating around us. They're in our energy field, they're in the particles, they're in the vibratory experiences. And they're all working with us as we create anything that we go to put down onto canvas, into music, into designing a chair, a lamp. It doesn't matter. It's all an act of creation. The design around your garden. Overlays that you put into videos and all sorts of things. It's all an act of creation. But when you bring in the energy and realize that you're doing it in conjunction with all of these stellar beings, because they were always working with you in your oversoul parts, and they're part of making up everything that exists in reality. So before you start to do something to really harness these energies, it's talking to your spirit guides or recognizing that you feel that presence. And when you start to let that run through you as you're doing your act of creation, you notice that your creative purpose starts to elevate itself. And what do we mean in terms of elevation? Well, the quality of the content is definitely for sure. And the other one is you start to realize other things in your multidimensional field as you're accessing what I would call fifth dimensional energies, right? In this harmonic universe one that we're living in, which is the first, second, and third dimensional energy. But you can bring all the other energies into whatever baseline you're operating at. And you elevate them. You start to care more about, well, is this creation holistic with environmental structures? Does it work with the biosystem? I love painting, but right now, painting's pretty toxic. It's just a fact. If you can't stick it in your mouth and eat it, it's probably not good for the biosystem around you. So there's things to think about. It's like returning from the ancient into the future and marrying the two together, so that we can create these wholesome systems. And then when you elevate too, you start to go, well, man, I'm making clothing, but I want to do some upcycling. So you pushed it up a notch. And I'm going to recycle. I'm going to go get some used clothing and repurpose it, right? All that sort of stuff. Cool. Well, it doesn't end there. Let's take it to the next level. Oh, I'm going to start using organic fibers. Boom. And then I'm going to start using natural dyes. And the list just goes on and on. Things beyond that even I'm currently creating in my life or can envision. I know the humans out there. There's somebody who's done something with everything. And absolutely mind-blowing galactic content. There's no doubt about it. So you start to bring in these energies and you ask to work with them. And then the content, not just the quality and how it fits with the biosystem, but the content starts to elevate itself. You're more pushed, and you're pulling that in yourself. You're magnetizing into your universe your own abilities to want to assist at service to humanity. That starts to matter more and more and more and more and more. And you go at a rate that is comfortable for you. And as you care more and more and more and more about being at service to others, then it's like, well, cool. If I'm creating food for them and it's genetically modified and covered in chemicals, but it's nice that I'm gifting it to them. It's nice that I'm setting up something every 2 weeks on the street for people who don't have food to access it. That's awesome. But the next level is then to go, okay, it's not GMO anymore, and then I'm going to go to some local shops and then some farmers markets and start spreading it out that way. You see where I'm going with this? That stuff just starts to enter your field as you co-create with spirit, because you're changing your cells and your particles inside of your body. And as you expand your field, so does your awareness. Everything moves with it, right? Now, we're also the designers of our general fields right in front of us. When I say your fields, your auric field, your light body, the energy you feel inside of you, all the particles, the frequencies, and the vibrations, the universal life force energy and the morphogenetic fields, okay? So you're using those and designing your own life, your own reality. How does that fall into place with co-creating? Before you even incarnated into the body, when you're watching this video that you currently have, you designed, a lot of people know astrology, and you get a birth chart read, right? Circle, boom, here's all the 12 houses, here's your planets, here's the aspects, and the astrologer will tell you lots about your life. Very cool stuff. You designed that before you even chose to incarnate. Rad. Now that's super cool. So you are an architect of designing something so masterful. Then you incarnate into this body and you're like, but I can barely even draw, or I'm not a really creative person. You still did something super mega creative. It also takes a lot of creative energy to even recalibrate your emotions so they don't get the best of you when you're having like massive amounts of stress and anxiety. That's an act of creating it. You're creating it, you're molding it, you're moving it. It's like life is a giant, massive, endless pile of clay. And you can get in there and you can mold and work with it. So you're designing the planet you incarnated on. You're designing which parts of the solar system are going to beam into your chart and give you different things to pull these lessons in or this star karma that way, right? Whenever I make my music or do any of my creations, especially since like my awakening really started, right? Whether it's in the realms of matrix busting or helping people with multidimensional living, all of the content that I'm working with on the etherical planes has a metaphysical push to it. Natural to me? Did it feel like I found the keyhole for the photonic light to come through so I could do that? Yes. But I'm bringing in spirit with me. Through my breath, the prana. Through my being, through my essence. All my chakras. Some days are higher elevated than others. Sometimes they're more directly conscious. The thing is, if you do this regularly, as you're getting into the act of creating, you start to work that more like working a muscle and you get used to it. And after you've done it long enough, it just starts to pass through you naturally, right? Which the humans of Earth, if they want to keep living on this biosystem of planet Earth, we are going to have to find a way to make all of our creative outputs, A, supported and sustainable. But supported's a big one by society, where you can do what you truly want to do and be able to pay your rent, pay your bills, do everything that you do, right? Because things are getting pretty wild in those departments too. So, but that also is an act of being creative, is finding creative ways then to support the ones who are getting creative. Right? Even when you're cooking your food, how you place it on the table, what you put on your plate, the different ingredients that you're mixing together. That's another act of co-creating. But the whole time you're doing any of this, you got your spirit guides right beside you. You got entities all over the cosmos, filling all the spaces that we think is just air. I mean, there's still space between them too. But it's a lot more filled up than it looks. And then you're generating the extra dimensionals. You can call them extraterrestrials. We are all star beings, unless we were first born on Earth. But I mean, even to another planet, that's a star being. So it all comes full circle in the end anyways, right? The seed in its act of creating is absolutely marvelous. From seed to plant, and planting those seeds. And let's say you're in the realms of creativity and you're just not sure how to elevate yourself and how to take it further, right? A lot of people take classes and go to things. There is a portion of creativity that is reserved for you and yourself. There's nothing wrong with it's great to learn your craft and master it, but at the same time, what happens is some beings go too far in that realm and it's all just about how school taught you to do something in X, Y, and Z. And there's a portion of imagination, creativity, getting wild. Is that unlocking that you already have that inside of you and just to freely create with no boundaries. In terms of what you're going to create, not knowing where it's going to go. That is the ultimate practice of really opening yourself up so that you can bring all this new energy in and not have to follow it by a book formulated. That's a level of it to insert to marry the two together, right? To put that into perspective as well too. So yeah, you can tune yourself in, boom, you can connect into spirit. You can have a talk with them just like we're doing. Hey, spirit guides, I don't even know your name yet, so could you please let me know? I'd like to know more, and I appreciate you always being beside me and working with me as then we design something, right? Because we are a piece of Prime Creator, and Prime Creator is a piece of us. Everything makes up Prime Creator. So to take us out of the mix, that we aren't part of that creation, but everything else is doing it for us. No, we're still actively creating the masterpieces that we're working on. But instead of creating a lot of knickknacks, which happens on planet Earth, we're living in the era right now of way too many knickknacks that just sit on the shelf and don't really do much. Right? The era is to take it to a whole other octave, and it's to create things with a purpose, that have a mission, that fit with the biosphere that we've incarnated into, right? And when you let that energy flow through you, then you're also passing off those light codes through your hands. And those light codes come off. They come through our vocals, and it changes the vibratory experience of everybody around you, of yourself, of your environmental surroundings. And that makes our creations turn to a next octave, and they move them into crystalline forms. Because ultimately, that's where we want them to be, is in crystalline forms. But beating yourself up and having self-doubt and all that stuff comes with a challenge for people to really transmute those. It's going to be different rates for each person, and let them go, because they are blockages that happen in the creative field and in different spots. I have my stuff too. Every single one of us, unless we've reached the states of ascended masters or we're activating as an archangel, we're going to be subjected to it on some level, and some things to work on. We're on Schoolhouse Earth. It's an amazing place, but it's also really dense, right? But it gives us a chance to create absolutely anything. So at least getting the wheels turning and allowing yourself to do that is big. Another one that I like to do too is bringing up the earth energy through our feet. You're sitting in the chair. You're about to start writing a book, some poetry. Doesn't matter. And you pull that energy up through your body. Realize you're field coupling with planet Earth. And feeling it. It's alive. It's giving you the ability to be on a biosystem in this form. And that's cool. Super transformative. And using that energy, and then when that gets sent out to the field, it brings in more abundance with our creative endeavors. Not just necessarily in monetary form. It brings it in all sorts of ways. Maybe we wanted more attention for it. Maybe we wanted to feel just like our cup was more full, because we're activating the creative side of our mind and fusing it with the intellectual. And that can give you the energy too, especially when a lot of beings create when they're like emotionally down, or like they're really angry, or something happens. You can bring that love through you. And it gives you that energy and that motivation to keep on going. Wow, what a transmission. So that's some touching base on some areas of co-creating with spirit. As usual, I'll be back with more videos soon. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and listening to the project, to Quantum Cafe and Interstellar Lounge. It's an amazing experience. Like I said, I'll have the link down at the end of the video here. And soak in the Lionsgate. If you haven't typed it in online before, go check it out. It's a yearly portal, and it's really powerful. It's all about 12th dimensional templates being accessed on Earth, and about teleportation and new avenues, as well as our star heritage. Thinking of Sirius and all the other star beings that made up our DNA. It's amazing stuff. So you're going to feel some energies really twirling in the next while. It's pretty incredible. So I'll talk to you all soon. Like I said, spread the word, spread these videos if you'd like to. And if you need a session with me or any services, please do reach out. thecosmicmessenger33@gmail.com. And I look forward to working with you in the future. Okay? Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.